Right, how you doing all? Monday afternoon, I haven't got to pick the wife up from work for another hour. So instead of going home, I've just quickly chucked my camera on my back, come down to a place called Churston Cove, or Churston Quay people call it. In the summer it's lush, it's where I come every night for a glass of wine and have a swim. Look at that. The sun goes down over there. This is still lit up, it's lush. Overcast, little bit of sky in the cloud, little bit of cloud in the sky even. So I'm just hoping I can come down and just grab a shot somewhere. Yeah, I might just see if I can go for like a long exposure shot, smooth the water out, get some cloud. I might walk over here along that little bit of headland there, and I wish I'd gone over there, got closer to the lighthouse and got a picture of just the end of the breakwater, but hey, that's the way it is. But yeah, I might go and walk up over the side there and see if I can find a nice composition. If I do, you see me in a sec. Cool. Whew, getting unfit. Right, made me way from the bay. Getting unfit. Right, made me way from the bay. Walked up along these rocks. That's what's behind me. Lovely little cove, isn't it? Look at that. In the summer, it is absolute bliss down here. Love it. If I've got any pictures that I've taken in the summer, actually, I think I got some taken with a drone. I remember doing a sunrise down here once. But yeah, it's lush. It's only literally like 5 minutes from my front door. But anyway, I'm thinking breakwater, lighthouse on the end of the breakwater, maybe a 70 to 200 mil. Pick it out, some clouds there. Although the clouds ain't moving that much, I might get a bit of movement. Might put myself down here somewhere. I've got my 14-35 lens on at the minute, which isn't going to do squat, but I don't know, I'll see if I can find a composition with that first. I was going to go for a long exposure, but old jet skis are having a play, disturbing the water. So won't be going for the long exposure. Bloody things. Call me an old fart, but I fucking hate jet skis. Noisy bloody things. I've had a little walk round and sort of taken some handheld snaps, but there's not much there, so I'm going to chuck my 70 to 200 on and see if I can get something with a breakwater there. The lighthouse on the end. Yeah, long exposure, that's just going to look like a blur of piss, isn't it? Bloody things. Right, 70 to 200, here we come. That's what I love about the R, it's got a cover on the sensor. Although, 2 days ago I cleaned my sensor for the first time using, I forget what I used, I'll put them up here. Really easy to do. I probably went overboard and used about 12 swabs because I'd never done it before, but that was good. A lot easier than what I thought. And remember people, when you're cleaning your sensor, you're not actually touching the sensor. I'm guessing there's a little bit of glass over the top. I'm guessing. Right, 70 to 200. One thing I love about this R, in the olden days when I used to do time lapses, I'd have to take shitloads of pictures, open them in Lightroom, I could do a batch edit, and then join it all up to make a time lapse. When now, on the Canon EOS-R, I hit mode, info, go into manual. Now I'm in the movie mode. Then all I do is I go into menu, go into the red one, I go into time lapse movie. I'm going to make it 4K because I'm recording my videos at 4K now. I don't know if they notice they look any better. I'm going to take a picture every 3 seconds. How are the clouds moving? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm going to take a picture every 3 seconds. I'm going to leave it running for about 20 minutes, and it's going to give me 16 seconds of video footage. Number of shots, I don't need 16 seconds, do I? Let's take that down to 300. 12 seconds is enough. Put them on f8. Bring my shutter speed down. Get my aperture how I like it, which is about there. And I do is take one shot so I know I've got the exposure right. Then all I do is hit the record button, and now it starts taking pictures. And it says on the top it's manual, it's doing a time lapse. F8, ISO 100, 160th of a second for every shot. And it counts down 292, 291. I just leave it doing a cool time lapse. How cool's that? When the time lapse comes out, here it is. Just want to say actually, whilst that's recording the time lapse, you can put ND, when you do your time lapses on these inbuilt time lapse function things, you can put ND filters on to smooth the time lapse out. So instead of the picture being 160th of a second, you can make each picture like a second long, so it will smooth it out and it won't be so juddery. So just remember that, just because you're turning it into a movie or a moving picture, photography rules still apply. You can still put a neutral density on just to stretch out the exposure of every shot so it makes it smooth. This is turning out to be a video about time lapses, I think. Yeah, there was a couple of time lapse videos with a 70-200, and I've just put my 14-30 back on to get a wider view of some rocks in the foreground, the headland over there, and the breakwater in the distance. And there's a trawler coming in now, so it should look quite cool. It's nice to get some time lapse in the bag because they make good intros for YouTube's videos and stuff like that. But whilst that's doing another one, yeah, it's a wider view, taking a shot every 2 seconds. What am I shooting at? F13. Yeah, it should be quite nice and wide. In fact, the time lapse might make a nice picture. You'll see when you see the time lapse, but here's a time lapse. What do you think? Whilst that's doing its time lapse, I'm thinking about running down here and taking a shot looking up the coast. The water's not banging around too much, but might be nice for a long exposure. Sit on here or put my camera up here somewhere, a little rock in the foreground there, and then have a portrait shot all the way up. So all this slot is going to be on the right hand side of the frame, and then looking up, I'll have the breakwater is going to be bloody miles away, but it's going to be up there, and I think there's some sort of funky sky going on at the minute, so I'm thinking that's the kind of shot I might go for. Down there, all the way along with all this on the right hand side and in the foreground, up to there. Look at that, it just shows if you hang around, the weather changes, you get a shot. I've got this nice rock coming in from the left hand side. Oh, it's made my day, because earlier on I was right grumpy, so I didn't think I was going to get a decent shot. But looking at this, oh, got the foreground rocks on the left hand side, sort of coming in from left to right into the middle of the frame. I've got just over a third sky. I've got the headland on the right hand side. I mean, I've got the breakwater, but that's 150 million miles away. So I'm going to go for mode, manual, ISO 100. I'm going to shoot for about f13 because I know this lens is quite sharp at f13. No filters because I don't need them. Focus in about a third of the way into the scene. I'm going to underexpose by 1 stop because I want to keep some detail in that sky. On the side of my lens, I'll just quickly flip in to manual because I've got focus peaking on, so I know I've got front to back focus. So when I put it into manual peaking, I can see the rocks in the foreground turn purple, so they're in focus, and the trees on the headland there are in focus. Cool. I'm going to put him on a 10-second timer. Yeah, I'm going to underexpose by 1 stop. Oh, I love that sky. And fingers crossed. Boom. I quite like that. Shall I put a polariser on? In fact, why not while I'm here? I'm not liking the water in that shot. I like everything else, but there's patches and reflections. So I'm hoping, get on, hoping my polariser might bring something to the table. Got this bad boy, loads of dosh. Don't use it much. I'm considering changing my filter system, going to something smaller like screw-on filters, because this Lee system, I love it. I absolutely love it, but it's just so big. It just takes up so much real estate in my bag. Mind you, I say that, I probably won't change it. Look at the size of that there. It's like carrying around a dinner plate. Pop him on there. Oh, doesn't that look good? Blimey, I didn't realise this polariser had so much of a stop to it, an ND stop. See if that does anything better to the water. So people, which picture looks better? Right, I've come on down, people, and I'm thinking sort of like taking a shot up there. I wish the breakwater was like, the lighthouse was that big and it'd be cool. Whoosh, all the way up there, Moody sky, got some lovely rocks in the foreground, loads of texture and shit. I'm thinking like big stopper, see if I can get something quite moody. Right, quick sticks, because I've got to pick the wife up. I'm already about an hour too late. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a shot like that. I quite like that. I'm putting this down here because I don't want, what with tripods on this front set of rocks, I don't want that in the picture. I want it over the edge of that. There's a bloody hole down there, not where I want one really. So I'm going to have to come back a bit. Oh, pain in the ass. Blimey, it's going to be a graduated filter, big time. Clutching at straws now. Don't feel like I've got an amazing picture on this outing, but I think I got a good shot back there actually. I know I'm going to need a graduated filter because that sky is well bright. 0.6 grad. We'll just slow that sky a little bit. Oh, I'll tell you what, don't really need a graduated filter. That's a Lee big stopper, f8, 30 seconds. Quite like that. Right, I better go and pick a wife up from work, can't I? Might be quite nice in a square format. Putting YouTube videos up, it's nice for you as a viewer, I think, to see the whole screen filled with picture. I mean, sometimes you can't help it, sometimes you've got to shoot in portrait, but it's just, I think it's nice on a big screen to see a nice wide angle shot. It may not be fully wide, it might be a square format, but quite like it. Quite like that. Moody. Quite like the cloud. In fact, no, I'm going to put this on full screen. There's a bit of dark clouds to the top left-hand side above the horizon. It's putting a nice shadow on the water. I'll give that a little bit of an edit. I'll bring up the shadows, bring some detail out of that sky and see what you think. Right, cheers for watching, people. Sorry if it wasn't the most exciting video. I didn't expect to come out. I didn't know what the weather was going to do. And this isn't my kind. I love kind of sunrise or sunset photography. Although look at the sky on there, it looks amazing, doesn't it? Cheers for watching if you've got this far. Bit of time lapse, bit of filter work. Better be out than in sometimes. Cool. Cheers. Bye.